challenges. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson, cancer, arthritis, orthopedic problems, cardiovascular disease, and other diseases that are intensify with age are expected to grow significantly. This requires innovative therapies and novel technologies to reduce illness periods and provide good quality of life for this population. BIRAX would not have come to this stage without the coalition of partners who understand the value that brings in so many levels. Every partner brings a unique value financially and professionally. The vision of the philanthropic founders, together with the experts of the medical charities, is what we believe in. We would like to acknowledge the outstanding work carried out by the teams in the British Embassy and the British Council, as well as in the Israeli teams. Without your hard work and committed work, all of this would have been not been possible. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, Professor Domb. If I can now invite Professor Dan Pe'er. Dan is the Vice President for Research and Development at Tel Aviv University. Also a scientist, he heads the Laboratory of Precision Nanomedicine. His specialty is lipid nanoparticles for therapy and much more. I'm sure you've seen him in the news. Thank you, Dan, for joining us and giving an introduction.
Okay, I just want to welcome you to this really important conference that we have been struggling for about a year and a half to get it here at Tel Aviv University. I want to thank the British Embassy, the British Consul, of course the organizers, Professor Avraham, Dr. Kalish, many others from Tel Aviv University that really eventually makes this happen. To us, this is a celebrating day. It's not only that science is important, but the science of aging is important. And this conference is an example of how collaboration between countries, as well as between researchers within universities, both in the UK and Israel, can become a very important contribution to the future of aging. We envision that in the future we will see more technologies that can change the world and we become younger. As we always say, that today the new 60, or I would say the 60 is the new 40. So I would say also that hopefully the 80s are now the new 60s and the 90s will be the new 60s as well. So I want to thank you all for being here, both internationally through the Zoom as well as in present here. I wish you a very successful event. And looking at the program, it seems very stimulating. So good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, and we look forward to having you join us in the science for this endeavor. So it's now my pleasure to host virtually Professor Dame Linda Partridge. She's coming to us virtually from the Max Planck Institute for Biology of Aging in Cologne and the UCL in London. She's extremely renowned scientist in the area of aging. She's discovered genes and mechanisms that determine the rate of aging, with applications in the development of new treatments for these diseases, as well as in maintaining good health as we age. We're very sorry that Professor Dame Linda Partridge couldn't join us today in person, but we promise to get you here, and we'll hear a few words now online.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's absolutely wonderful that this meeting is happening at last after so many COVID-related disappointments. It's terrific to see people there in person. I'm very sorry not to be there myself. There was a date clash, but I really look forward very much to joining the next meeting and having the opportunity to participate more in person in the activities of the BIRAX program. I do think it's the most wonderful program. I think there are huge synergies in the science of aging going on in Israel and the UK. And I think the way that BIRAX has developed the travel grants and the collaborations and fosters the involvement of junior scientists in the program means that it really has a great future. I think there are going to be wonderful scientific joint activities between the two countries, and I look forward to participating in them myself. It's a great honor to be named as the chair of this meeting, and I would love to pretend that I did lots of work in the organization, but I think I really have to acknowledge the work of others there, and particularly Karen, who's been so tireless in putting this whole thing together and at last having it happen. We have a wonderful program, I think, for the meeting, a great combination of science and social science and also aging-related disease. And I think there are bound to be new synergies emerging as a result of the discussions that go on. And I look forward very much to hearing the talks and hopefully participating in some of the discussions after them. So it's great to be here, if only online, and I'm really glad it's happening.
Thank you very much, Linda. Okay, so now it's my turn to say a few words. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Karen Avraham. I'm the Vice Dean at the Faculty of Medicine here at Tel Aviv University. I'm also a scientist and working on genetics and genomics, primarily in the field of hearing. And we'll get to hear at least 2 presentations that cover this area by colleagues of ours. So we are all impacted by aging, whether it's with our parents, our grandparents, ourselves, or how we will be affected in the future. As we listen to many talks describing a variety of research in aging, an overriding question is, what will the future of research deliver to the aging process? While we have gained years in the last century, some will debate how much quality has been added to these extra years. Is aging a disease? Is it treatable? Will a significant amount be done in academic labs like those here at Tel Aviv University and by our colleagues who have come from universities and institutions around Israel today? Or will it be in more well-funded companies promising the ability to conduct blue sky research? Will the focus be on how to handle the increasing elderly population, to enhance the quality of life, or for anti-aging solutions and increasing lifespans? These are open-ended questions, some of which may be partially answered at this conference. We will hear a variety of talks combining both biomedical research and aspects of quality of life and the perspective of the community. And I think that that's really one of the highlights of this conference, is to see the variety really covering a spectrum in this area. Now, one of the main goals of our conference on healthy aging is to bring together UK and Israeli researchers to study a multitude of concepts in aging. While we're extremely sorry we couldn't host our UK guests in person, we're offering rain checks, and very glad that we're able to set up this hybrid system so that we can host the Israeli guests here in the hall and our UK guests by Zoom. We also want to ensure promoting early careers. We'll have a few talks from early career scientists today and tomorrow. And to this end, the UK Council and BIRAX have announced travel grants in conjunction with this conference designed for early career researchers. So we will get you here to Israel. I have so many people to thank for their help in getting this conference together and the preceding webinars, because as some of you know, while we were waiting and kept postponing this conference to have it in person, we held a number of webinars to kind of whet everybody's appetite. Since Tel Aviv University obtained a generous grant from BIRAX to run this meeting, it's really a pleasure that we were able to do so finally. I also want to thank you, the audience, and the virtual participants, and in particular, with the forward thinking of increasing collaborations between our two countries in this critical area that impacts the life of every one of us. I also want to take this opportunity Don Pe'er talked about the importance and the critical nature of this field for Tel Aviv University, and that we're starting a center on aging at the university. We received the first support, and our scientific advisory board is meeting next week to launch our vision and plans for the center. I also want to acknowledge the support and inspiration provided Professor Ruth Arnon, Professor Lord Robert Winston, both co-chairs and founding members of the UK-Israel Science Council. I also want to acknowledge Honorary Dr. Sami Segol, outstanding supporter of Tel Aviv University, who's joined us today, and who has made and continues to make a profound impact on the vision of our university, and who's joined us. So thank you, Sami, for everything that you do from our heart. I also want to thank His Excellency, the UK Ambassador Neil Wigan, for honoring us with his presence, and to Stevie Spring, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the British Council. I'm now going to introduce Dr. Mira Marcus-Kalish. Mira, if you could join us. She's a member of our Academic Organizing Committee. She is Vice Chair of the Human Brain Flagship Project Medical Informatics and eBrains Management Team, as well as organizer of the previous Healthy Aging Symposiums at Tel Aviv University. Mira,